Hi everyone and welcome back. So today we're going to be doing our Port Orleans Riverside review, as promised in the last video. We're going to be talking about our experience there in October, what we thought of the resort, and what we would recommend. Do you want to start?
Yeah, so we'll just kind of start with the general overall thoughts on the aesthetics of the resort. So if you didn't know already, Port Orleans Riverside it's themed around like New Orleans and also like the bayou and then the plantation houses. We stayed in one of the plantation house style buildings, which we really liked. What did you think about the overall aesthetic of the resort?
Overall, I would say it's a very pretty resort. It is quite big, but the advantage of that is that you don't really run into big crowds.
No, considering the amount of people in the resort, we didn't really see many people.
I would say it's more adult themed in terms of the theming. You know, it's Disney. You know, there's elements of Princess the Frog in there, but it's not over the top like All Stars or Art of Animation.
No, you'll not find any like big characters or anything in that resort.
Instead, it's quite tranquil and authentic, if you would. It's kind of like being in one of the areas of the parks in a way.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it kind of has that almost like Tom Sawyer Island-esque feel, doesn't it? There's a lot of green. The whole resort's around a river. So there's various bridges that go over the river, obviously Riverside. And so it's really like calm, and then you've got like the grass and you've got the river areas, and you've got the there's like a dock area, which we'll talk about in a little bit, which is where you can get the boat to Disney Springs. But overall, like although it's a big widely spread out resort, it's easy to find your way around, and everything is pretty well laid out. In terms of our room, like we said, we were in one of the mansion rooms, which is what we had requested. We just put a request in over the phone, and we got what we wanted. And the rooms were lovely. They're kind of like, they're not royal themed. I mean, there is royal rooms at the resort, but they're quite regal, would you say?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they've got the table and chairs, which are quite regal.
And the headboards.
The big headboards with artwork of the mansions and a few Princess and the Frog characters thrown in there to look out for. They're
kind of like a cream green, like a sage green, and then like a dark wood. Just the kind of like colour scheme, isn't it, of the rooms. And the mansion buildings are like these huge, big colonial white houses that have got like big pillars, and they've got beautiful grounds around them. Each of the mansion buildings has got slightly different grounds. There's like one that's got a little bandstand, there's one of them that's got like a fountain, which was the one we were in. And they're absolutely beautiful. Definitely, like we saw someone that was getting like wedding pictures taken, didn't we? And you can see why people would choose to do that. It's really pretty. And then what about like the pools and things? What did you think about the theming?
Yeah, so the main sort of pool is on Allman Island. It was a decent pool. Again, not too in your face. It's not like an All Stars pool or something like that.
Not that there's anything wrong with the All Stars.
No, not of course. But like, I would say it's nicely themed in a way that, you know, it still gives you a bit of a break from the hustle and bustle of the parks, but there's theming there for everyone to enjoy. How would you even describe the theming of it? It's kind of like...
It's kind of quite rustic. I mean, they've got like these big kind of buckets that fill up with water and tip over.
Yeah, it's almost got like a sort of watermilly type vibe where you've got these running water that's coming down, you know, and tips on the kids and that.
Yeah, and then they've got a slide at the main pool as well, which is kind of like... It's quite like rustic-y wood stairs to like a little platform, almost like a treehouse type style. And there's a hot tub there as well, and there's like a kids splash pad area, and that's just like over the river, which is where the main lobby is where the pool is as well. We also did go to a pool that was more near our building, and they haven't really got much theming, but I mean they were like nice pools.
They're more sort of typical hotel pools, you know,
but they were nice.
Yeah,
everything was really clean.
Nice, clean, fresh towels provided, so that was good.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't fault them for, you know, keeping up with the grounds. I mean, like, you know, there wasn't a blade of grass out of place, was there?
Everything was pristine.
Perfect, yeah. So we've covered the grounds, covered the pool, covered the room. What about, like, the look of the lobby and that main area?
Yeah, so... First impressions of the lobby, we were really impressed, I think.
Yeah, we were.
I feel like you don't get a scale of it on vlogs.
No.
As opposed to in real life, it's a lot bigger.
Almost, it's much grander.
Almost Grand Floridian,
yeah,
I would say so. That same sort of level of decor, very white and...
High ceilings.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I don't know what it's called, but you know, like where they've got the kind of that kind of Grand Floridian-esque ceiling where you've got just this.
I know what you mean.
But anyway, it was beautiful.
Hopefully you do too.
But yeah, so you go into like the main when you get off the Magic Espresso, when you come out of the main car park and you go into the lobby, you've got the check-in area, which is what we were talking about on the right hand side, and then everything else joins up into one big building. And so you've got the restaurant, the quick service food, and you've got the gift shop.
Yeah.
It's all along that way, and everything has a really similar feel. So we really liked the overall theming, didn't we? It was quite grown up, but you still felt like you were in Disney because of the high quality, you know, maintenance and high quality staff and customer service, but also there was little touches here and there, wasn't there?
Yeah.
So the next thing we're going to cover is the food and the drink offerings that we had then and what we thought. Do you want to start?
Sure. So food wise, we didn't actually try the restaurant. We mainly ate in the quick service food court. Food was quite varied, to be honest. You've got all sorts of pastries, burgers, salads, hot dogs.
For dinner, but we also had breakfast.
Breakfast, again, pastries. You've got
hot breakfast,
your waffles, your bacon. I can't remember what else there was.
There was
for
an
breakfast.
omelette, like a make your own omelette stand.
Yeah.
I mean, because of the size of the resort, the food court itself is absolutely huge. So, I mean, it's similar to kind of most Disney hotel food courts where they've got like different bays. Which means that you do have to kind of queue up separately if you want different things. But it means that the choice is massive. So like Tom was saying, I mean, for breakfast, there was like a hot food bit, an omelette bit, a pastry bit.
Build your own pasta. That's another one.
For dinner, And then they've also got like the pizza oven window, haven't they, where you can get Disney pizzas, which we also had one night when you were poorly. So yeah, we liked the food court, and we had pretty decent food there, like we mentioned in our quick service review video. In terms of other areas of the resort, we went to the pool bar one night.
What was that called?
Muddy Rivers.
Muddy Rivers pool bar, that's right.
Yeah.
And that was good. Had a wide section of the cocktails, usual resort ones like Kaplan's Mai Tai, which was our go-to.
Yeah.
Hurricanes, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, like margaritas and things. But I mean, they did have like specific resort drinks, but we just got the ones that we liked.
Yeah. They did also have frozen Jack Daniels.
Yeah, like in a slushy.
Like a slushy, which sounded really good, but we never tried it.
I don't know why we didn't get it, but I probably would next time.
Yeah, definitely.
And they also had, which I didn't realise until I was walking around the pool bar, I didn't realise that there was quite a big seating area around there as well.
Yeah.
So you don't have to just drink your drinks at the pool.
Yeah, it's gated off from the actual pool itself, so there is a little area where you can sit, and they do a few snacks as well, like pretzels and stuff, I think.
Yeah, they do like a couple of like snack and side plates, don't they? I think they do like fries and things there as well, hot dogs. Was that everywhere that we ate at the resort? I suppose.
Pretty much, yeah. We didn't eat our boat rides, so
we got a few bits and bobs from the hotel gift shop. Like they have like a little selection of food and snacks that you can get, like the bags of Disney treats that everyone buys or uses with their credits.
Yeah.
But we also got like some crisps, like Cheetos and things. And we got like Rice Krispie treats from in there as well, didn't we? And we did have a look at the drinks because they had like beers and things in the fridge. But we ended up actually just getting an Amazon Prime delivery.
Yeah,
which you can do.
Really easy actually, to the point that we didn't even have to be in for the order. We actually went to the parks and said they'll just deliver it to our room.
Yeah, because we'd read online and seen on people's videos that when they did an Amazon Prime Now, was it Amazon Prime Now?
Yeah, Prime Now.
Yeah, that the hotel would charge you like per parcel for them to hold it, and then obviously when they deliver it to your room you would be tipping someone, but it was actually it was the one stormy day, wasn't it, when this happened, and so we were kind of like hedging our bets on when we're gonna get to like leave without getting soaking.
It's because we had a dinner reservation, I think.
Yeah, at Le Cellier we did.
Yeah.
And so we just rang the front desk and had told them that we had a parcel due to be delivered, but because it was raining they didn't want to send someone to the room at that moment, but they said, just go out anyway and we'll just drop it off, and we didn't get charged for the parcel.
No.
We didn't obviously tip anybody because
there was
nobody there. Yeah, and everything was just waiting there, wasn't it, when we
really
got in?
good service.
Brilliant. And we ordered like a massive big crate of water, some Mountain Dews,
Gatorade, Cheetos,
all sorts.
Essentials.
And it was much cheaper than getting them from the gift shop. And actually, because we didn't have to pay for an Uber to Walmart or anything, it was probably cheaper than doing that.
It was easy. I mean, You just place your order and then you can go to the pool or the parks. What's not like?
Yeah, but anyway, we're digressing. So the next area that we're going to focus on, I've just got my notes down here, is transport. So what have we thought of the transport of the hotel?
Are we talking sort of to the parks, or are we talking Magical Express?
Everything. I mean, we might as well start with Magical Express.
So we took the Magical Express, obviously, from the airport to the resort. I think we were the last stop, weren't we? We went through a couple of resorts first, so it did take a little longer.
Not long though.
But it was totally fine. When I say long, it was probably only what?
40 minutes?
Yeah.
45 minutes?
And yeah, that was really good.
It was, I mean, when we got our luggage at the airport, we went down to the Magical Express area. We had a little bit of a wait. I mean, what was it, about 15-20 minutes? But we waited for the coach. It depends on if you're the first one on the coach or if you're the last one on the coach. If you time it, you know, it's impossible to time it, but if you timed it well by chance and you were one of the last ones getting on the bus, then you'd probably have a much quicker turnaround time.
Yeah.
But
we were the first there.
Waiting for people to fill up, but it was really easy, wasn't it? And then when we, check-in was pretty easy.
Check-in was great. The guy who helped us, the cast member, I can't remember his name, but he was really good. Yeah. Really, I'd read it online on TripAdvisor and stuff. A few people said that the cast members at Riverside were not very Disney. Oh, we didn't have that experience at all.
No, everyone was so nice.
Everyone was so, typically happy, accommodating, helpful.
Exactly what you would expect, Didn't have any bad experiences. And then the other transport that we used was the buses, the Disney buses, which we found really good, didn't we?
Yeah.
The only time that, it might have caused a bit of an issue is coming back from the parks when the parks have closed, but that's understandable because everybody's trying to get to the same place at the same time. But overall, we didn't really have to wait long to get to a park. It was mainly just coming home if there was a wait. Yeah,
the only reason as well why there's a bit more of a wait is because sometimes for leaving the park, they actually share a bus with French Quarter.
Yeah.
So the buses can fill up. So we had to wait for 3 buses before we could get on, for example, sometimes.
Probably about half an hour.
Yeah, but, it is a little annoying, but it's not the end of the world.
No, it's not. And considering you don't pay anything for it, I mean, you can't really complain. In terms of getting the buses to the parks, we should say as well that Riverside, because it's a big resort, has multiple bus stops. And we were by the North Depot. Yeah. And I think that was the second stop. So we were very lucky at our area of the resort that the buses were never full by the time they got to our stop. Whereas sometimes, if it was a morning and everybody was trying to get for extra magic hours at Magic Kingdom or whatever, then by the time it got to the 4th bus stop, which was the main lobby bus stop, then sometimes it would be full. Yeah. So just as a warning, if you're going to stay at Riverside, maybe don't go to the main lobby bus stop, maybe walk to one of the earlier ones. I mean, it drops off at the lobby on the way back first, but to get there in the morning, just, a little bit of a warning that sometimes that can happen. Yeah. But we never had any problems.
No, I'd say the busiest it got was with Mickey's Not So Scary being on, but even then it wasn't bad.
And we think we still got a seat, didn't we? But do you want to kind of tell them about that little moment that we had on the bus with the...
Sure. For an example of cast member Disney Magic, we had a reservation at the Polynesian for Ohana.
Yeah.
And so the plan was basically to get the bus to Animal Kingdom, I think.
Just to get the first bus that was going to come and then transfer. We were the only people on the bus as it happened, so what we found was actually the cast member announced that we weren't going to the parks, he was going to drive us straight there. Yeah, which was really unexpected. Well, yeah, because we got on the bus and we were saying, are we doing the right thing by getting on this bus and then we'll just transfer? And he said, yeah, that's no problem. And then as we sat down, he just said, I'll take you straight there. Yeah. And it was amazing, wasn't it?
I was a bit dubious. I thought we were going to be put in a ditch, but turned out he was just a nice guy.
Yeah, and just dropped us straight off. It was like our own private Disney escort. Yeah. And then what about the boat as the other method of transport? Yeah, so Riverside has a boat to Disney Springs. And French Quarter.
And also Saratoga, I think, has it.
Yeah, the boat drops off at the different resorts.
Yeah, but that's going off subject. The boat ride. What I'll say is...
it's a lovely idea.
Yeah, definitely do it at least once, because especially at night time, it's really nice to go past the resort. And even go past the other resorts, you get to see the tree houses at Saratoga.
It's nice and calm and relaxing.
Yeah, very, very tranquil. What I will say against the boat ride is, one, mosquitoes. Obviously, Florida, swampland. When you're on a river, there's going to be mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Also, it can take a little while. And the boats were quite irregular for us.
Very irregular. I don't know whether or not it was because whenever we were going to Disney Springs, it was on an evening mainly, so maybe there was more people trying to use the boats, and so the process was slower. But yeah, if you want to get to Disney Springs in a hurry, then I would say it's worth walking to the bus stop and getting a bus rather than waiting for the boat, because we waited about 45 minutes one night for a boat.
Yeah, that was a worrying one because we had a dinner reservation at, was it Homecoming?
Yeah, but thankfully we had plenty of time. I mean, we planned on going to get a drink beforehand, which we, had to rush. But the queue was huge, and because we were quite, far into the queue, about 20 minutes in, we just kept on thinking, we'll wait a little bit longer, little bit longer. And we got there on time, but if you want to get to Disney Springs quickly, then maybe don't get the boat, but definitely try the boat. In general, at some point.
It's a good way to see the resort as well.
It's a good way of getting back, because when we were in Disney Springs on our last day before we were leaving for the airport, we wanted to go and do some shopping. And so we were over the end of Disney Springs where World of Disney, the Lego store, the Christmas shop is, and there's a boat dock right over that end of Disney Springs to take you straight back down the river. Whereas if you were going to get a bus, you'd have to walk all the way back through towards Planet Hollywood to get the bus. So in that sense, the boat was good for getting back, wasn't it? I mean, we would recommend the boat, but
yeah, like I said, do it at least once. I mean, other people might have different experience. It might have been great for them, but for us, the time we went, it was a bit slow. Yeah,
it was nice but slow. Excuse me. In terms of adding on from that, what about proximity to things? Like, how did you feel about Riverside and the distance and the time it took to get the places?
So Riverside's around the Disney Springs area.
Yeah.
So it's more closer to Hollywood and Epcot than anything, I'd say.
Yeah, I think they're the closest parks, aren't they, Epcot?
So the bus ride to Magic Kingdom is a little bit longer than some of the resorts, I'd imagine.
I think that apart from the Magic Kingdom area resorts, the Magic Kingdom's always the furthest.
But to be honest, even that was only 20 minutes, surely.
Yeah, it was nothing, was it? No. It was close to all the parks. It took no longer than 20 minutes to get anywhere. It wasn't far away from Typhoon Lagoon, because obviously that's right next to Disney Springs. It's near Disney Springs, and then also to get to if you wanted to get an Uber to Universal and things, then it wasn't far. It wasn't long to get to there, was it?
No.
About 20 minutes, 25 minutes in an Uber, or if you were driving. So it's a good location. I think we would definitely think about staying in the Disney Springs area again.
Yeah, especially if you're adults, for example, and you want to go on a date night or whatever you want to call it to Disney Springs, go and get some drinks, etc. Yeah, it's a good location for that.
Yeah, it is, and it was lovely having the ability to just be a stone's throw away from Disney Springs and nip over for a drink. That was good. And then just to kind of wrap everything up, would you recommend Riverside to people? Who would you recommend it to?
Definitely. I would personally recommend it more towards sort of adults that might be going on a trip like we did, just couples. 2 of us, couples. Yeah, it's a great resort for that. It's quite, dare I say, romantic in that sort of way. Like we said, the wedding photography and stuff. Yeah. There's horse and carriage if that's your thing. Yeah. It's really beautiful. Some of the kids might appreciate the sort of pool at French Quarter more, I'd say, because that has a lot more of the cartoony theming. Yeah.
Which is the sister.
We did see a lot of kids at Riverside as well, and
Yeah, I mean, we'd definitely recommend it to anybody, but especially I think if you were looking for, if you were a couple like us and you weren't going to be staying in a deluxe because that was maybe out of budget or whatever, and you wanted to kind of have that quite calm, tranquil break from the parks but still be in the bubble, then Riverside I think would be perfect.
I would say, whilst I want to stay at other resorts, I would definitely go back there in a heartbeat.
Yeah, me too.
Of all the moderates, I think it's going to take some beating, personally.
And also, while we were there, Coronado and Caribbean Beach were both under refurb, so they were a no-go for us, just because of our personal preference. And so it was either going to be French Quarter or Riverside, and because Riverside was much bigger, we went for that one. But yeah, I think we've kind of spoilt ourselves because I want to stay there again because I loved it so much, but we want to try other resorts.
Yeah.
French Quarter is not out of the realms of possibility. I would probably stay there.
Oh, totally. French Quarter is beautiful, but...
Oh, and we didn't mention, by the way, sorry, that you can use French Quarter's facilities if you're staying at Riverside, but we didn't.
Yeah, so again, if you've got kids that want to go to the other pool, you can do it. Again, French Quarter is a must for beignets, but that's a different topic.
Yeah. But yeah, we loved it, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
10 out of 10.
It's really good.
And we'd definitely recommend it. So it's one to look into, definitely. And I think that's pretty much everything. Let us know if you stayed at Riverside and what you thought about it, and if you had any different experiences to what we did.
Well, likewise, what's your favourite resort?
Yeah, definitely. And let us know if you've stayed at any of the other moderates and what you thought of them as well. Because we'll have to be thinking about where we want to stay next time.
Yep, hopefully next year.
Yeah. So thank you very much for watching, and leave us a comment and give us a like if you will.
Thank you.
Bye.